Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Week 5 of the Halo Championship Series Pro League. I'm Strongside, the better player here on the Xfinity desk, and with me as always is the one and only Eagle.
Stats seem to tell a different story there, Strongside, but we'll leave that one open for debate. We did have some crazy matches last week, both in tournament play as well as in online scrims leading up to this week.
Talking about online scrims, we saw something dirty happen to Commonly just recently in one of their scrimmages against Evil Geniuses. So we've clipped that out, and we have that video for you right now. Let's check it out.
He's weak. Penguin's weak. Our shot. He's got a Hydra flag. Oh! Our closet weak.
And what do you think there, Strongside? That was a pretty dirty ninja, and I know we were talking about this before. Let me hear some of your thoughts on that.
I mean, honestly, I don't know if that is a for sure ninja. That was like a sideways ninja because Snipedown came around from the side, and he did, in fact, assassinate Commonly. But, I mean, a true ninja, you got to be, like, back-turned. I got to be flying over your head behind you, whether it's thrust or just jumping back, and then get the assassination on you.
Yeah, but with Radar and Halo 5, a ninja, there is no firm definition on this, so there's a lot open to interpretation, but I'd rather be looking at somebody do a 180 and jump over their head and backwhack them. That's bonus points or style points in my book.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like an unspoken like definition of what a ninja is. Well, let us know in the chat what you think it is, because who knows? People could think a ninja is something else. If you didn't know what it was, that's kind of like the basic description.
He's not just a player; it's actually a move as well.
All right, well, let's take a look at the format from the teams that have made it here into the Pro League.
Of course, we have the top 8 teams in North America that qualified here, and these teams will each play each other twice during the regular season, with the top 4 teams then advancing to the season finals. 5th and 6th place will have their spot guaranteed their next season. However, if you are in that 7th and 8th spot, you have a tough road ahead of you because there are a lot of great players out there, and you would fall to relegation and have to go against those top open circuit teams.
All right, well, let's take a look at the standings as well and see where all these teams have ended up over the past few weeks. In the HCS Pro League. We've got Counterlogic Gaming still at the top, 7-1, coming off their loss last week. Team Envyus 6-2, Enigma 6, 5-3, EG and Renegades tied at 4-4. Allegiance 3-5, and then down at the bottom in the relegation spots we have Optic Gaming and Team Liquid. But I mean, this battle for the top 4 right now, this is intense because we have 6 matches left. There's 3 weeks, so a total of 6 matches. Nobody's secured a spot. I mean, even Counterlogic Gaming, on paper, they haven't secured their spot in the top 4. They're holding that #1 seed, but, I mean, they have a sub now, so who knows what could happen.
And of course, a lot of where these standings and teams are going to fall into place is going to be according to kind of what happens today and tomorrow as well. Taking a look at some of tonight's matches, we do have Team Envyus going up against Optic Gaming for our match #1, followed by Counterlogic Gaming and Renegades, Allegiance versus Evil Geniuses, and then followed up with Enigma 6 going head-to-head with Team Liquid.
A lot of big matches. I'm looking forward to that Counterlogic Gaming versus Renegades, seeing how Renegades is going to do after coming off 2 losses in that last week, because that's never happened before, and then Counterlogic Gaming with that new player. But let's go into the top stories. We've got EU Pro League that happened earlier this morning, and big shout out to Sims, Wonderboy, and Gaskin. I mean, those guys have been killing it out there with the casting. Solid job, guys, out there. And here are the standings. We've got Euphorics 9-0, still undefeated, the only undefeated team out of both NA and EU Pro League. They could end it out with a 10-0 finish after tomorrow, who knows. But we've got Infused 5-4 and X-Men 5-4. Now, Euphorics, Infused, and X-Men have all secured their spot in the top 4. The bottom 3 teams, though, are still trying to fight for that 4th spot.
There is a lot on the line, and huge props to U4X for actually being 9-0 at this point in the season. You take a look at Counterlogic Gaming, and if you argue that those are the 4 best players on one team, they still fell short to Enigma 6 here. So the fact that U4X is having so much success is big props to them.
Yeah, and when we're looking at those bottom 3 teams as well, Vibe, Dinosaurs, and Pulse Gaming, well, Vibe and Dinosaurs, they have a tied record right now. So if you go on map win percentage, Vibe is actually up by just 3% right now. And then Pulse Gaming, they're down 1 in the series, but if they win tomorrow and you have Vibe and Dinosaurs lose, that's a 3-way tie, and it's going to go down to map win percentage. So, I mean, anything could happen right now. It's just absolutely insane that it all comes down to tomorrow's match for these teams.
And every game, you know, one of those losses, a 50-49, a 1 second stronghold, all of that is going to come back and play, especially with that win rate, map rate percentage that we use now as well. And of course, what we did see last week, one of the biggest stories so far this season, we saw CLG be taken to the ropes and then actually defeated as well.
Yeah, their armor has been weakened, as many would say. Enigma 6 just, I mean, these guys have been up and down, and they just really proved that they are a top team, and they are in that top four of the HCS Pro League just because they are the first team to take down CLG in so long.
And it was a convincing fashion win as well. The games were not as close as you would expect in the series, not even going to a game 5. You know, we saw it looked like they were just unbeatable when Envy came back and when Envy ended up losing that game. It looked like CLG was unstoppable. Even when all the cards are in the other team's favor, they still pull out a win. And that was just the exact opposite here with Enigma 6.
Well, and this week we'll also see, we mentioned this a little bit earlier, Rami is going to be the substitute for Royal 2. Royal 2 is sick, and he's going to be out this week, and so we wish the best to him in his speedy recovery. But CLG has Rami, who's got to fill, technically a lot of people say Royal 2 is the best player in the game. Rami, we got a chance to speak to him yesterday, and he said the same thing. He's like, Royal 2 is the best in the game. I've got a lot of pressure on me. I have more pressure on me now than I did when I was on Allegiance. So, I mean, for CLG, for these guys, how hard is it going to be for them to have Rami come in? Because Snakebite doesn't have that person to drop Sniper for all the time. And you heard him in the HCS listen in. Snakebite's like, you know, I dropped Sniper for Royal 2. I feel so comfortable just charging into the base and knowing that he's covering my back. Is he going to do that same thing with Rami, though?
Yeah, it might be a good opportunity to see some of the sniping skills from the rest of the players. Normally, and we've seen it time and time again, everyone would drop the Sniper for Royal 2, but it's really not going to be the case here. And we saw Rami excel on Allegiance last week, but this, completely new players, completely new play style, completely different method of communication within the team. So one, he just came out and showed what he can do, and obviously he can do a lot from last week, but now it's just a whole nother ball game. We saw even Snipe Down replace Royal 2 for an online tournament and fall short to Enigma 6 there as well. And then with Royal 2 actually being on the full lineup, falling short to CLG, now it's what is Rami going to be able to do here? Yeah,
and actually I got a chance to talk to Frosty a little bit yesterday, and he said that Snakebite will, in fact, be dropping the Sniper for him now. But let's talk a little bit more about Rami. I mean, this guy just came out of nowhere pretty much, and he's now playing with Counter Logic Gaming. I mean, this guy has just been a true trooper, like just an amateur player that just shows that it is possible for any player out of the open circuit to make their way in and compete with the best.
And I believe you said as well, Halo 4, the pre-launch event, was actually his first tournament. He got first rounded there.
And he thought it was going to be Halo Reach at the event, so him and his buddies went there thinking they were going to play Halo Reach, ended up being Halo 4. And then they lost first round.
And of course, going from losing first round in Halo 4 at the beginning to now subbing for CLG, which is an honor in and of itself, just amazing things from him. And of course, for any kind of news, schedules, and other Halo standings here, make sure you head over to halo.gg, and you can check out all that information there.
And Jinx raffle. We have another raffle going on, so a big shout out to all the guys over at Jinx for giving us a bunch of stuff to give to you guys for free. We've got shirts, we've got hoodies, we have lanyards. You can sign up through the link right here. If you don't have any of that, you can check that out there and sign up. There it is. It's going to be up there in just a second. But yeah, so there's the gear right there. Lanyard, you've got the hoodie, the shirts. But yeah, so sign up for that raffle and be sure to try and get your hand into some free gear.
And of course, if you want to participate in the conversation here, make sure you tweet at us using at ESL Halo or using the hashtag HCS there, and we'll be able to take a look at those and join in on the conversation and see where your thoughts are, what you think of Rami, some of these upcoming matches, and all that good stuff.
And we actually have a community tweet that we want to show you guys. This is pretty funny. From Danny Boardman. He tweets out, "Babies are meant to lock eye contact during a feed, not when HCS is on, apparently. Hashtag HCS at The Sims. So you see the baby just so intent on watching the HCS tournament happen right there.
Now, I wish I knew what game is specifically on the screen. And of course, you know, I learn something new every day. I did not know babies were supposed to make eye contact during feeding.
Yeah, I mean, this baby, you know, who knows? HCS Pro League Season 24. This baby, he is going to be a top player. We could see him out there. He's already studying the games. He's already getting the skills that he needs to know to be a prime top-tier player.
And you've got players like Frosty that got started, you know, around the age of 4. So this baby's not too far off.
Yeah. All right, well, we've got the big matchup happening right now. Envy versus Optic to kick things off today. You know, the guys on Envy, they've struggled and talked about how their communication, and actually a lot of teams talk about this, how they get frantic and they need to keep their communication at a low key and not force bad plays because they're calling out way too fast. And then on top of that, got a chance to speak to L-Town, and Envyus said, L-Town said that they need to play and practice like they do in the Pro League, because if you look at their win percentage from Pro League to their scrims, it's a whole different team. But let's take a look at the roster here on Team Envyus. We've got Pistola, we have L10, we've got Mikwit, we've got Rain, and just a phenomenal squad.
It's, you know, an amazing lineup, and we've seen exactly how strong they can be. You know, that Game 5, and we touched on it last week, but still amazed at what we saw there, both from Envy having that lead and taking CLG to Game 5, as well as CLG's dominating performance and bringing that back and taking that win in overtime. And of course, they are matching up against Optic Gaming here today. That lineup is going to be Straight Sick, Maniac, Ace, and of course APG as well. So there's going to be a lot on the line here for Optic. They can come out, they need to start picking up some series wins, and the best place to start is defeating, you know, arguably, and now it's back to arguably again since that CLG fell to Enigma 6, but arguably the second best team here in the league. And on top of that, we've got #1 going up against #2 as far as Halo Global Championships are concerned. Ace up against Pistola.
Yeah, and I mean, Optic Gaming, we saw them last week. It just seemed like they weren't on the same page. They were kind of everywhere. You really pointed out Ace dropping 23 kills on Coliseum Slayer, and it just felt like the whole team was in disarray. Nobody knew what each other were going to do. No one was pushing with each other, and let's hope that they kind of talked about that and practiced that coming into this week's matchup.
And we gave a little bit of love to L-Town here, you know, talking about that Envy squad. Let's go take a look at his player profile there. Of course, make sure you follow him on Twitter if you don't already do. But he's, you know, fairly new as far as the, you know, competing goes. But of course, getting his start in the, you know, older generation Halo 2 as well. Great accomplishments so far from this guy.
All right, well, let's take a look at the game type overview and quickly get into this match, and we won't hold you guys off any longer, but we've got Truth capture the flag to kick things off. We've got Eden Slayer, the Rig Strongholds, and surprisingly, Stasis CTF. We haven't seen too much of this game type if we make it to Game 4, and then if we make it to Game 5, Truth Slayer. But let's go ahead and kick things off. Who do you want to kick things off with here in Truth CTF?
You know, I want to see what Optic has in store. You know, this is their time to come out and shine again. We heard them say they want to, they're ready. But, you know, whether or not they're actually going to bring it here today, you know, that's still up in the air and undecided. I say we go ahead and kick-start it off with Ace, who had such a great week last week.
Your brother. We're kicking it off with your brother, Ace. All right. Well, Truth is a symmetrical map, and obviously we're playing Capture the Flag. First to 3 caps win. Now you see Optic Gaming already starting a push over towards the car side, but you had 2 players make a push over towards Camo. So a little bit of spreading out from Optic Gaming doesn't look like it worked out for them in the early stages of this match, because now Rain does have Fuel Rod.
And in that camo battle, you did have Optic Gaming end up grabbing the camo, but they were actually quickly taken out as well. So no camo on the map here till the next respawn in 2 minutes.
And Rain committing suicide with that Fuel Rod. I was about to credit him, saying he's in great position to potentially slay Optic Gaming and then get a flag run over there, but he's going to be taken down by himself, and now Optic Gaming is luckily kind of given a second chance to get out of their base here.
And both teams, no one's really been able to grab that much of an advantage. However, you can see in that kill cam there, Ace does have the Fuel Rod as well. We can hop back on board with him. He is sneaking around below the enemy's team base.
All right, he is going to take it slow because nobody knows he's... Actually, it looks like the player above does know he is there. In fact, that's Pistola just crouching and hiding. But Ace is going to take down L-Town. He's looking for Pistola, but Pistola just creeping. He's just creeping, waiting for that right moment to just pounce down on these players at the top of the base. Pistola will be eliminated by Straight Sick. Ace trying to stay alive. L-Town is going to drop him to the ground and stop any chances of a flag run there.
And that was just 3 down for Optic Gaming as well. It looked like they were in pretty good position, but the patience from Pistola, just sitting below the base for that long, just completely catches Optic Gaming off guard.
All right, now L-Town pushing into the base. I like this flag run, but Pistola wasn't blocking that bubble spawn, so Maniac was able to spawn in this bubble, and you'll see him there, but Pistola tries to make that run, just a last-ditch effort, and it's not going to work out because Maniac and his squad are right there to stop that. But I would have loved to see Pistola get into that bubble to block those spawns, and that's the #1 spawn you need to be blocking when you're running that flag over towards the car side.
I mean, you cannot, you're absolutely right, you cannot run the flag car side unless you have someone sitting in the bubble. Just the way the spawn system works, they're just always going to be there, especially if you have teammates on the other side of the map, potentially even blocking some spawns. It's just going to force them there. That is the #1 thing you need to watch out for. If you don't have someone there, you just have to anticipate that one of the enemy team is going to be hiding there.
L-Town gets into a 1v1 with Ace. They're going to trade, though. Let's jump over to Mikwin and see what this guy's up to as he makes a push over to top center. He's going to take down Straight Sick from across the map, protecting his teammate. Fuel Rod is up, so he is going to acquire this. This looks like it could be a push for Envy to get a flag run initiated here. They've got players from Optic Gaming over on pink side. Direct hit from Mikwin with the Fuel Rod, and he does have a player. Look at this. They have 3 guys running towards pink side with the flag, and a great kill by Mikwin to stop any chances of stopping this flag. So L-Town, let's move over to L-Town as he's already back into the base. He's probably going to ground pound this flag in, and there it is. First cap on the board by Envy. Envy takes the lead 1-0.
And Optic Gaming's lucky that Envy's not going to get a double cap out of this. If Maniac didn't pick up that stick on the Fuel Rod player below red base, below blue base, there was going to be a high chance or a high probability they're actually going to be able to run a second flag there.
Oh, look at this, Optic Gaming being very aggressive right now. That's going to be 1 down for Envy. Actually, 2 down for Envy, 3 down for Envy. The last player is pushing out of pink side. That is Rain, and Rain is going to be taken down as well, and Ace is running the flag. Let's jump into third person and see if there's anyone that could stop him. It looks like Maniac is cutting off that car side, and Ace is going to cap flag #1 for Optic Gaming. We're all tied up now, 1-1.
And I did not see that counter cap coming from Optic Gaming as well, and it's, once again, this Fuel Rod has been completely dominant to start off this game. Both teams have had success with it already, and there are a lot of Fuel Rod shots being hit.
He's throwing a nade over towards car side. Rain is taken down to 1 shot, but is able to stay alive. And Ace dodges the Fuel Rod from L-Town, but does not know Rain snuck under the base. So let's move over to Rain as he's going to try to get a flag pull again here. He is alongside Pistola and now running it over towards the car side.
They just took 4 down for Optic Gaming. First one to spawn is Ace and actually wins that 1v1 trade. This is still looking pretty good to put in another cap, but Optic Gaming does stand a chance.
Nobody around. They couldn't make it there in time. 2 players from Optic Gaming were pushing from pink side, but Envy is going to put that second flag cap on the board, going up 2-1. That's 2 down from Optic Gaming, and a great pushback from Envy right here, as Optic Gaming is just kind of, they're almost rushing to try and stop a flag that they couldn't really stop anymore. So they were just putting themselves into a bad situation, and Envy was able to capitalize on that and take them down and kind of eliminate that push from them attempting to get a flag.
But that's 3 down now here for Envy, and the last guy alive is actually hiding blue 1 with the plasma, or excuse me, fuel cannon, and he gets taken out as well. Flag is still pretty close to Optic's base. All 3 members here now, pink side. If they can jump in attic here, this is going to be another cap.
And it looks like he is going to be 1 shot going into the base, and Maniac does ground pound the flag in for flag cap #2. Optic Gaming putting up a great fight right now, showing that they are not giving up, that they have practice, that they are still in this, and they do not want to fall to relegation. But as I say that, Pistola is already getting out that 3rd flag.
They tried to run it pink side though, and Ace is below the base throwing grenades. Actually takes out one player. It's going to be a 3v3 right now. If they can pick up another kill here on Envy, this is going to set up pretty well for them. But 2 members dropping, you can see in that kill feed there. 2 down for each team. Pistola quickly trying to move that flag.
Pistola will be eliminated at pink 1, but you have Mikwin trying to stay alive here. He is 1 shot right now, trying to get this flag just a little bit closer, and no player shoots him, but Maniac inside the base of Envy was able to get a flag toss out. Now, it looks like a player from Envy is going to get that return, and that will be game number 1 in favor of Envy, winning 3-2.
And that was pretty back and forth. If anything, it was kind of a lot closer than I originally anticipated. Taking a look at some of the stats here, L-Town, 18 kills. We gave him a little spotlight here before the match started, continuing where he left off last week and just completely dominating. On the other end here, you have Ace and Straight putting up some numbers for Optic, but then Maniac and APG are the ones going to be falling a little bit short here. Of course, Maniac with a couple clutch flag runs that game as well, though.
Yeah, I mean, just to kind of look at some background stats, too, of Optic Gaming, they have only won a single capture the flag game in Pro League. So, like you said, that game was definitely a lot closer than we had anticipated, because Optic Gaming hasn't really put up too much of a fight in past CTF matches. So I believe now, after losing that, they are 1-10 in capture the flag game type. So there's still one more capture the flag game type if they make it there. If you're Optic Gaming right now, you got to win these next 2.
And then on the reverse end, you've got Team Envyus now increasing to 4-1, only losing 1 capture the flag game. So Team Envyus, they might have had a little bit of trouble, trying to close out games in the past. We saw that reverse 3-0 sweep against Enigma 6, but it looks like they've got those little kinks worked out, and they are ready to rock and roll here against Optic.
And yeah, Eden Slayer, we could see a close match as well. Optic Gaming has won this game type once in the past, so it definitely gives them a little bit of comfort knowing that they have won this in Pro League before, and they haven't lost it at all. But obviously they've lost it in scrims. But in Pro League, obviously we see and talk about Envy, how they're a completely different team when you go from Pro League all the way over to scrims. Like L-Town was saying, that they need to really play like they do in they need to play like they do in Pro League when they're practicing, because it's almost like they're just not they're not all there. They're not taking it as seriously, and they just need to get better practice. If they want to get better, obviously you've got to get that good practice in, and they're still, like you said, arguably the number 2 seeded team, but who knows what we can see from these guys.
I mean, in every team right now, especially the teams that are fighting for top 4, are all looking to take down CLG. And the only way you can do that is by practicing how you play. And anytime you get on and you're not getting the best out of your practice, CLG is going to be getting better practice than you, and you're just going to keep falling further and further behind the curve.
Well, and what makes it so weird too is Halo is so situational. You're going to always get into new situations that you haven't been into, but I think with Snakebite, he really put it perfectly in the HCS Listen In. It's like you get into so many situations when you practice, and when you're practicing like you're going to play in a tournament, when you get into that situation again, you already know what you're going to do. Even if you're down a flag cap, if you're getting spawn killed, it's like, I'm dead right now, but I know what I'm going to do off spawn. So that's where Envy seems to need to be working on, just playing like they are going to play in tournament play. So once they get into that situation, it's boom, they've already been there. They know what to do. It's not a surprise to them. And
not only that, you say it's a situational game, it's also a game of seconds or even milliseconds. A nade thrown early, bouncing off a wall. We saw that Jimbo stick, if anyone saw that, where you just throw it up, over the top of the map onto the other side. You can't do anything. I believe Sims did tweet that out, but yeah, I mean, like, how do you defend against that? A guy just throws a plasma grenade up through the sky on Fathom, and then it sticks him on the other side of the map. It's you can't. And there's the flag runner too. All by himself, no help. Can be completely game changing. Yeah, and so that's a perfect example too. Yeah, of what are the teammates they're going to do? It's like you have to adapt fast, and the best players. I mean, we talk about CLG, how they're so good at adapting to every new situation, whatever is happening. They're just quickly adapting to it. But it sounds like we do have the players ready in match number 2, which is going to be Eden Slayer. Now, Slayer is 50 kills to win if you're new to Halo. But who do you want to start off board with here, Kyle? I say we take a look at someone from Renegades this time. We started off with Ace last time. Let's do Pistola, runner-up at Global Champs, and see what he's been doing, as he had great series last week.
right, now Pistola off the spawn. Doesn't move off spawn actually, but probably just talking to his teammates, but he is going to get the Hydra. And now I like how Rain and Pistola have their minds set over by the Rockets, and he has the help of Mikwin. Pistola trying to get that Hydra kill, not able to connect, and Rain is able to acquire these Rockets though. So overall, a good push for Envy since they got the power weapons, but Pistola does go down with the Hydra.
Yeah, and it looks like on the other side of the map, where Envy and Optic Gaming ran into each other, Ace was able to pick up a double kill and assist on that third kill. So losing over on the Rocket side, but actually winning here over on Tower.
Rain and Mikwin over here by the turbine, trying to work together and take out these players by the turbine. They know there's players around here, but they can't just locate them yet. Pistolo is going to get sniped by Straight Sick, so we'll move over to Straight Sick here in just a second after this push. Rain is going to take down APG with the rocket, spots Maniac down at bottom middle, but now over to Straight Sick, peeking through a little peek hole right there towards the bottom of red base.
And we've seen those little areas, you know, you talk about practicing being in a situation. Well, you need to practice and be in those situations with almost every single player on your team. So no matter who has the sniper, you can't always rely on one person, not even CLG relying on Royal 2. You need to know where to take it, what angles to take a look at, and of course we've seen so many different ones here on this map.
Straight Sick is going to miss that shot on Mikwin. Mikwin doing everything he can. I like how Mikwin just picked up that kill and just did everything he could to try and stay alive. But Optic Gaming's in good position right now. Rockets come up in about 20 seconds. They're outside. They just have to hold off this Envy push. Pistola and Envy putting a lot of pressure, though. Pistola and Mikwin are going to take down two players of Optic Gaming. You see Maniac trying to stay alive with that sniper on the death screen there, but he is still alive. Look at that. He's still alive over there. He's finally taken down, and now Rockets will be up in about 5 seconds.
And you have that sniper still going down. We'll take a look to see where that actually ends up, or whose hands that'll fall into there. But Rockets being up here, you have both teams kind of focusing and rotating out towards Rockets, trying to set up for this weapon. And, you know, big props to the coaches involved as well in letting the players know, you know, where you need to be when.
I like how Envy just baited the Rockets here. You had Pistola and L-Town over on the red turbine, and they just waited for the guys on Optic to push towards those Rockets. And now you see Pistola has the Rockets over in turbine. So even though they are down by 4 kills right now, they made a great push to get that second set of Rockets.
And right now, 16-12 lead, and we've seen exactly how slow both of these teams will play this game type. If anything, in my opinion, it's kind of going pretty quickly. Sniper, of course, now is also in the hands of Rain. You can see in the kill feed there. And on Optic Gaming's end, they're going to have only the Hydra launcher. So we'll stay on board with Rockets here for a minute, see what Pistola has in mind.
10 seconds to sniper rifle.
All right.
And wow, Ace picking up a Hydra kill, taking a note from Lethal last week against Envy. And looks like that, in fact, was Rain getting caught this time. L-Town knows a thing or two about that Hydra gun.
All right, let's check in with L-Town now then, as he's got the sniper back in blue base. Just a great position to have the sniper because you're just behind a wall of your teammates. So when you have players trying to push you, they got to get through all your teammates first. But look at this, L-Town may get caught over here by himself with the sniper in hand. He's got a player pushing him in blue base. He is going to take down Straight Sick with a great swap over to the battle rifle and staying alive. And look at that on the kill feed. 4 down for Optic Gaming. L-Town gets the new sniper. Look at this, he's moving back to Blue Attic to block that spawn. And you see Mikwin moving over towards the tower because they know they're going to spawn in tower or they know they're going to spawn in red. You had Envy just push away from the red base to spawn those players the furthest point away from L-Town and just keep that blue base control because blue seems to be the more favorite spot out of all the teams on the map to control throughout the game.
And that's absolutely going to come down to the blue platform there and the spawns overall. Being so close to the sniper, getting your teammates to spawn with you. However, Optic Gaming doing a pretty good collapse, actually taking the lead here. Now 3 down for Envy, and I can't believe that as well because you just had Rockets in the hands of Pistola and Sniper in the hands of was L-Town as well. So big change of events here considering Envy had everything stacked with the lead. Now L-Town rotating around, they see 2 players here at tower, other players of Envy kind of sneaking around. Optic Gaming really doesn't know where they are, but we do have Rockets in the hands of Straight Sick and Sniper in the hands of Maniac. So we'll stay here with L-Town for a moment before we go ahead and bring on the Sniper player, and that's going to be Maniac.
All right, over to Maniac as he is trying to pick up a few kills, but Optic Gaming 25-20 right now, looking looking very impressive so far throughout this game type. Like we said, they have won this in the past, but Maniac, we've seen him do some dirty things with the sniper before, and now he's giving some cover over to Stasis. Stasis does have the rockets, so they're keeping the power weapons together, and I like how they're just keeping them at blue base. So if someone charges, Stasis, he's got the rockets right here. Nobody can push in, and if someone's pushing from afar, Maniac's right there to snipe them right in the face.
And pretty good positioning here from Optic Gaming, although you do have almost 3 members over in Turbine area. One, actually APG picking up a double kill. Now another kill here by Ace with the shotguns. That's 3 dead now for Envy. We just went from a 1-kill lead in favor of Envy with all the power weapons to now Optic Gaming with an 8-kill lead.
And now Optic Gaming, we saw Envy forcing Optic Gaming spawn over at red base, and now Optic Gaming is doing that exact same thing. You've got Maniac sitting back with the sniper here, and you've got the rest of his teammates kind of pushing around that center part of the map. But you see Envy trying to make a rotation over towards those rockets. They're not going to push Maniac. They know rockets are coming up, but look at this. What a snipe from Maniac, creating a perfect angle to snipe these players that are going for rockets. He's helping out his teammates over here, but it looks like APG will go down. Maniac with another snipe on Rain, ripping off his face. He's getting caught out in the open, but look at this, Ace right there to help him out. Stasis also with a sniper now too, so 2 snipers in the hands of Optic Gaming, and they are up by 11 kills right now.
This is great play from Optic Gaming. This clearly is one of their better Slayer game types. Talked about them winning and having a phenomenal series against Liquid when they ran into this game type. You know, 22-20 halfway through the game, and just played so slowly throughout the entire thing. You do have several members now dropping here. Ace picking up a trade now, but new shotgun is in the hands of Pistola, and now he's got shotgun sniper.
A great spot to have it right now as well, because there are players all over at blue base, but you need some help here from his teammates. But Pistola's like, you know what? I'm just going to charge in. Yeah, I have sniper, but I'm going to make this push because it needs to happen right now. So I really like this play from Pistola, just realizing the situation and making that initial charge for his team right there. And Mikwin with the rockets pushing close behind him as Pistola is going to go down.
I really like what he did there, although it did not work out as well in their favor as you might hope. When the player puts away the sniper and charges with his battle rifle out, you know he's a selfless player doing whatever it takes to win. But let's take a look at this real quick. Rain with the shotgun. This weapon, ever since Ramy was using it last week, I feel like everybody's got it all the time now.
Everybody's going for it, and there, Rain picks up another kill with the shotgun. Spots Stasis, gets a few shots, has to back down because of the perfectly placed grenade by Stasis. Rain didn't want to get out too far. They're down by 10 kills, so if you're on Envy's team right now, you do not want to give up any useless deaths. That's 2 down for Optic Gaming. Envy looking to bring this back into play here for them to hopefully win this match. Rockets are coming up as well. Look at this, Envy collapsing over towards the turbine side of the map to get these rockets. And Rain does know players are spawning over at blue on Optic Gaming. I like how he's just so aware, even though we can see the players because of the highlights. He wasn't able to see them, but he knows that that spawn was open. Nobody was over there, so he's making sure that nobody can make that push from blue base.
And you know who's playing well this game again? Well, L-Town just picking up a double kill here and starting to bring this lead back. This is starting to get a lot closer and not as comfortable as Optic Gaming was hoping. However, Ace, 13 kills, 11 assists, 10 deaths. He just racked up a few deaths here, but he was actually looking at all whites on his board. If you don't know what all whites means, most kills, most assists, least deaths. So picking up right where he left off last week here for Optic and helping that squad try to come home with the victory.
Maniac does have the sniper. They are only 2 kills away from winning game number 2. 1 kill away now. Maniac spots a player. Ace is inside of red base right now. Could he turn around and potentially finish this guy off? No. Maniac is going to charge in. He's going to look to pick up this kill. Look at this, all players from Optic Gaming just pushing in. I'd love to see Maniac put away this sniper and push that player in red base, but he's getting caught up. He turned around. He didn't know where to look right now. Pistola will be taken down, though, and Optic Gaming takes game number 2 to tie the series up 1-1.
That was getting a little bit too close for comfort. You know, 7-kill lead, you know, still pretty solid, but Eden especially, as opposed to any other map, is where you can see the biggest comebacks happen. And Envy, you know, obviously put up a great performance on this map against Counterlogic Gaming, but Optic Gaming doing a pretty good job here to get this started.
Well, Optic Gaming is already doing better than their last matchup against Envy, where they were 3-0'd originally. So they're tied up 1-1 right now. Optic Gaming now undefeated on Eden Slayer in the Pro League, so definitely one of their more favored game types, I would say, but a phenomenal snipe from Maniac here, just going for those perfect angles. Whenever you're at blue base, you have so many sight lines, and just finding those sight lines when those players are traversing through those small little cracks and small little areas is when you're just going to be able to pick up a headshot on a player that's just very unsuspecting of a sniper looking there.
And you know what's cool about Eden as well is I feel like even more so now, Shotgun and Hydra just play such a big role. You know, there's Shotguns not on every map, but even on like Plaza, for example, I see Eden, the Shotgun, even though the map is so much larger and more open, it seems like it's just as effective as the Shotgun here on Eden, or, you know, about equally as effective. So seeing that Hydra and seeing multiple Hydra kills every game, as well as one player being able to lock down a portion of the map and just pick up so many different kills with that Shotgun. You know, we talk about weapon respawns as well. That Shotgun, you know, when you run out of ammo and drop it, it's going to spawn up in 10 seconds. So if you're timing things right and rotating around the map correctly, you can run that weapon the entire game.
Yeah, and going into the Rig Strongholds, I got to point out, Optic Gaming was a team that took down CLG on the Rig Strongholds. So I'm saying this is going to be another close match. Optic Gaming is good on this game type. They took down the #1 team. So when you look at the Rig Strongholds, I mean, it's all about just containing the basement, containing the nest, and yeah, occasionally going for that trip cap and trying to force those players on the other team to spawn bunker and then spawn carbine and just kind of traverse back and forth, being aggressive on those players that are spawning up and make them split spawn. But the Rig Strongholds, it's really based around getting that camo. You gotta make sure you're getting that camo, getting the power weapons, and that can really turn the tide of the game. And, we're gonna see players moving around the White Hall, moving around Sniper Hall. That's kind of like the hot spots of the map. But you know, Optic Gaming, if I had to predict, I'm gonna have to say I'm gonna say Optic Gaming's gonna win this one.
I kind of agree with you. They played really well the first game. They played fantastic the second game. And going into this one, you mentioned it before, they took down CLG back when the storyline was who was going to beat CLG in one game.
Yeah.
Now it's after seeing them fall, you know, it's a little different now. There's a lot more contenders for the title, but still, Optic Gaming did work here on this map. And with the new veto system in play, and just the way the maps are all built, you know, they're so different. You see teams really excel on individual and certain maps and game types. So Optic Gaming obviously doing their homework on this one. Yeah,
they're in the 7th seed spot, and they do not want to be in a relegation spot. They have 3 weeks. This is a very pivotal week for all the teams to try and gain a little bit of space or try to get some type of security of making it in the top 4, or in some cases just top 6 to make it into that next season, because you do not want to fall to relegation, because you know who's waiting there for you. Rami and the French Toast Mafia. You do not want to get matched up against them. If I was on one of those relegation teams, I would be worried, because French Toast Mafia, they've won the last 3 open circuit matches, and they've just been looking so dominant throughout the entire open circuit.
Yeah, of course, you know, being in the open circuit, you're lacking or missing essentially the top 32 best players in the game, but still nonetheless can't take anything away from those guys, as there's still a lot of great players in the amateur bracket, so
all right,
a lot on the line.
Well, it sounds like we've got the players ready for game number 3, the Rig Strongholds. So who do you want to kick things off with here, Elamite?
So we started with Ace, then we did Pistola. You know, we talked a little bit about L-Town. Let's go on board with Straight Sig. See what he's going to do this game. All right. And Straight Sig, you know, we've seen him start off some games so well. He's so strong. Like especially in the ones where he had the sniper going up against CLG in that first Coliseum Capture the Flag game, picking up 8 kills essentially right away on off the start of those games. So Straight Sig pushing out, trying to contest the tower here and work on this railgun, but Makowin being extremely aggressive right now. He does, in fact, take him down. You can see in the player cams. Ace picking up the scatter shot to start this, so that is going to be 1 player down now for each team. However, Optic Gaming just now about to go 2 down. Yes, and 2 down. So early lead, but you know, pretty amazing. And BR base not even capped yet.
All right, Straight Sick making a push over to basement. He is going to be able to take down a couple players alongside Maniac as he picks up a double kill. Optic Gaming 9-0 right now, and that third stronghold is not even captured yet. The guys on Envy are not even attempting going for it. They just want to push out and try and get another stronghold, and they do exactly that. So I really like the play from Envy, focusing on that nest and not putting any attention towards the BR base. Now they are going to put some attention towards that. They are going to capture 2 strongholds. A phenomenal play by the guys on Envy on just really knowing what stronghold to go for in that type of situation.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of an interesting decision. It looks like Optic Gaming really was not in position to stop that, yet you still had people fighting 2 separate hills and ended up losing both of those battles. So something you really got to be careful and watch out for. You have to concentrate on the same one, or you're going to get out-teamwork by your opponent. Straight Sick still running around, getting a great melee on Mikwin. APG finishing off the kill. 2 down now for Envy. This is a perfect chance to go and cap this Nest Stronghold.
Straight Sick will fall to L-Town, but APG is right here to try and pick up the Nest. Let's move over to APG as he's going to capture off just a little bit left, what was left in that Stronghold capture, and he does get that. You have 3 players from Envy trying to push out, but Straight Sick just bombarding the area with grenades. And now over by the basement, he will fall though. Now let's move on board with Maniac, as Maniac and Ace are trying to defend the area by the basement, but 2 players from Envy making a great push, backing down Maniac. So when you talk about pushing in numbers and just having more numbers is always going to be a better thing, and that's what you're going to see out a lot of these top teams is just having 2 or 3 is always going to be better than 1, trying to do a solo mission and win it on your own.
And that's going to be 3 down for Envy, giving Optic Gaming a chance to capture BR base. But they're so focused on BR base where, you know, maybe if they rotated outside, they might have been able to go and contest or pick up basement. You know, BR base is not generally the one you want to focus on, especially when you have a teammate above 2 weak opponents in basement.
Now Maniac will fall to Pistola over there, but let's move over to Mikwin as he's just trying to defend this nest. I like how he's in this position because he can drop down, sneak away, and he's got some good cover there. But unfortunately, APG had other plans for him and will take him down. But you know what? In the end, Envy still has control of the nest. Now over to L-Town. L-Town now trying to defend the nest. Tries to get an aid on Ace, but Ace declines him. And Austin Mikwin will be able to take down Ace before he does get that capture. Mikwin trying to make it his way over there to get that return. If we could move over to Mikwin now. Mikwin does fall. So now over to APG. APG trying to stay alive here and potentially get that capture, but Envy is able to get that reset. So a great reset by Envy. Getting a reset on a stronghold is so huge, especially once it's pretty much captured. You've got players on the other team that are just kind of overextending sometimes, trying to just finish it off, and that's where you can really capitalize on someone on the other team being out of position.
Now we do have 1 dead for each team, but it looks like Envy just much more organized.
With the 3 cap now.
Yeah, they're just not. Optic Gaming looks like they keep splitting up, going for different hills, but you know, just like that, basement is arguably one of the toughest strongholds to capture in this game, and kind of grabbing a free one off spawn almost is. They have to take advantage of this.
That's going to be 2 down for Optic Gaming. And real quick, when you're holding 3 strongholds, you get 2 points for every 3 seconds. When you're holding 2 strongholds, you get 1 point for every 3 seconds. So obviously you want to be holding 2 because you're able to get much more out of it. And then the other team, obviously they're not getting anything. But did see Camo fall to the ground there. Not sure if anyone noticed. Let's jump on board with Maniac. He doesn't even realize Camo's up. I don't think anybody picked up Camo. It's just sitting down at the bottom of the map.
Mikwin actually snuck down there and just grabbed it a moment ago, picking up a kill as well. So Mikwin's running around with that. You know, not hitting a few shots there, but is able to escape. So Mikwin obviously knowing the map pretty well, but APG reading him like a book, knowing he's going for that jump up near Splinter Nades, ends up taking out that Camo player. So 2 down here for Envy, but Optic Gaming still not able to grab a stronghold.
Yeah, Envy just really being dominant when they have Optic Gaming going for a stronghold. Envy is just right there to capture the other one. But now it looks like Optic could potentially get Nest. But you know what? Envy declines them, takes down 3 players on Optic Gaming. Excuse me. We're now at 85 to 18. And look at this. Envy just collapsing on those players that are spawning by the carbine. And now going for the trip cap. And they're going to make another switcheroo. Yeah, they lose BR base, but they're going to switch it and capture basement, and they're still getting time. Optic Gaming they're not able to get control of 2. Envy is they're playing this perfectly. They're putting the pressure at the right time. They're letting Optic Gaming get that capture essentially and not putting any pressure on them and just letting Optic Gaming come to them because they have no need to be out of place. Let Optic come to them, let them go out of position, and we'll just win the game. It's 96-19.
And this one is quickly getting away from Optic. They are trying to secure the basement hill, and looks like they will, in fact, be able to get this one. But, however, they cannot afford any missed opportunities. Essentially, one capture here is going to result in Envy closing out the game.
And you have Mikwin here alongside 2 teammates about to pick up the BR base here. And Optic Gaming will have to pick up the nest. If they do that, that's going to be it. 99-24 and make that 100. Envy is going to take game number 3, going up 2-1 in the series. Let's take a look at these stats, though. You've got Ace, 16 kills, but all the guys hitting double digits for their kill ratio here, or excuse me, their kill stat. You've got 10, 13, 13, and 12. So Envy definitely doing a little bit of outslaying on the guys on Optic.
I mean, it just looked like Envy was more organized and more controlled with all their pushes and all their decision making. Ace putting up 16 kills, which is kind of a lot in this game type, you know, especially when if it's twice the amount of your other teammates here. But regardless, Envy doing work here. Ace not being able to do enough, not being able to pick up enough kills, and right there, that was Rain missing a melee and then trading in an AR battle. So that is going to be a win there for Rain. Big props to him, just hitting all of his shots.
And look at this, Rain's just hanging back. He's sitting back, letting the players push over the nest. He's got the carbine. It's so hard to fight back against the carbine when you only have a pistol. So they did a great job in just kind of baiting in Optic Gaming throughout the match and just collapsing on them and splitting their spawns throughout the game. And I mean, we saw them push so many times together with 2 people or 3 people. Optic Gaming, they're not always paired like that. They need to make more pushes together and be maybe not even just pushes side by side, but just kind of focused on the same thing where they're attacking the same area from different angles. It just didn't seem like they were doing that. It was just kind of like the one after the other going in. But there you see the series layout. Team Envyus is going to take game number 1, Optic Gaming number 2, and then Team Envyus game number 3. So we're seeing a match on Stasis CTF here. We haven't seen this in a while.
Pretty excited for that, but kind of commenting a little bit further on the Rig Strongholds. That was a much bigger margin of victory than we've seen as of late on that map. We've seen so many 199s to 98s, you know, 95s, things like that. So we've seen a lot of really, really close battles. And considering that we'd probably put that one up as Optic Gaming's best game type or second best game type to Eden Slayer, that was kind of a dominating performance from Envy.
Yeah, you know, I'm interested to see how this game type has evolved because we haven't seen too much of it. Players did talk about how they like to run the flag towards the upper lane since there's a lot more cover, but it sounds like we do have the players ready. Let's get ready to kick things off with Capture the Flag on Stasis. This is 3 captures to win. Basic CTF. This game type has been around forever. You've got Overshield bottom middle. You have Rockets top middle. Elamite, who do you want to kick things off with?
I say we go ahead and kick things off with Maniac this game, see what he can do. Ace has been playing extremely well, and it's really going to be up to Maniac and APG to step this one up if they're going to have any chance of winning the series.
I like straight 6 intentions, trying to rush in to get those rockets, and Maniac giving him some cover. Definitely worked out for him right now. He's able to get the rockets, pick up another kill. That's going to be 2 down for Envy. Maniac with the rockets. Now, so much action always happens around top middle here, and having the rockets here really makes it hard for the other team to make a push out of their base. A little bit of a bucket rocket there from Maniac. We've definitely seen a lot of bucket rockets in the Pro League, but having those rockets there, even if you're not getting kills with them, makes it hard for the other team to push in.
And as you can see in the kill feed there, that's straight sig with the shotgun as well. So one thing I'm really curious about is to see how effective the shotgun is going to be on Stasis. We've seen it just making more and more of a resurgence on Plaza and like Eden, just that last game we witnessed. But on Stasis is another story. We just haven't seen that game type that much.
Oh my gosh, Pistola, wow. It looked like Maniac was going to be able to pick up that kill, but Pistola just coming in hot with that pistol right there. L-Town's going to start moving this flag, and on the other side, it looks like Mikwin is going to start moving this flag. L-Town's staying alive right there. Love that play from him because him staying alive right there makes it so hard now for Optic Gaming to stop this flag run. L-Town has a teammate with him. He's going to be able to potentially get this back to his base, and he's running flag to top middle. Very uncharacteristic of a route to run flag, but Optic Gaming doesn't expect it, and L-Town's all the way back. He misses the flag, though. Oh my gosh, that's you don't like to see that, but there is a player right there to grab the flag, and that's Rain to cap flag number 1 for Envy to go up 1-0 in the game.
And just like that, yes, members of Optic Gaming falling once again. That was, the flag was pulled when Optic Gaming actually had numbers. There was a 3-2 advantage in favor of Optic Gaming, and Envy still picked up the cap off that play. And a lot of that goes in the hands of Pistola. You pick up a trade in your base, that is worst case scenario for Optic, best case scenario for Envy. You got a player on respawn, but flag already being pulled by L-Town, I believe it was. Just overall fantastic play, and Maniac winning a big 1v1.
And look at this, we've got a flag over here. Mikwin trying to get the return. He is able to get that return, even with a rocket flying in. So big return by Mikwin. Let's move over to him as he's just being a monster over here, just staying alive, just dipsy doodling out of this entire area. He's got players all over him, still picking up kills. Does he get it? Yes, he does. Is able to take down the player. Rockets are going to be down, though. I believe there is a rocket or 2 left in there. Yes, there you see it on the ground, but no player picking those up there. Mikwin is going to come over to help Pistola. Great teamwork from these two. Pistola staying alive. Mikwin and Pistola just having a little bait and switch action happen right now.
And APG ran right by Pistola hiding there and takes him out without APG being able to do anything. And that was another case where it was a 3v2 advantage for Optic Gaming. Rockets were down bottom center, and they're just not able to capitalize on it.
Now L-Town pushing up. He does have Rain pushed up in the base, battling against Maniac. He will go down, and that looks like it's going to close out the attempt for them to get into the base and get that flag run. So having L-Town come back, I really like how he just pushed back and he kind of decided, you know what, this push isn't going to happen anymore. Rain died over there. He's just staying alive over here with Mikwin. He's going to tag team Ace, take down Ace. That's 2 down for Optic Gaming, 3 down for Optic Gaming. Last player, APG. That is 4 down for Optic Gaming, and now Envy is moving the flag. A perfect execution of slaying the players on the other team and getting that flag moving.
And a 2-0 lead in this game is such an advantage. You can just set up and try to trap the opposing team in their base, running this fight cross. If you're not having your whole team sprint across the map almost instantly off spawn, it's just not enough distance for them to catch up, and that flag's going to go in no matter what.
There you see Envy get their second flag cap, going up 2-0. Rockets are coming up, but Overshield will be up shortly as well. At this type of situation, you want to try and go for both of them, but it looks like Envy is going to decide not. Actually, now you have them going up to get these rockets, but it looks like a player from Optic was able to acquire them. Mikwin trying to finish this kill. He finally does get that kill. Straight Sick does have the rockets. He is going to pick up a second kill. That's going to be 2 down for Envy. Make that 3 down for Envy. A triple kill from Straight Sick. Can we see the over? No player nearby. That over is not going to happen, but Straight Sick pushing into the base, being very aggressive. Love this play from Straight Sick. Look at his entire team. Teammates all around the upper lane to give him cover. Let's jump into third person, see if there's any players on Envy that could potentially stop this. Envy trying to, but look at this. APG cutting off routes. You have Maniac cutting off routes, and Straight Sick is going to cap flag number 1. Still plenty of time here for Optic Gaming to bring this back.
And that was just 3 down for Envy, so perfect opportunity to run this second flag.
This. Yeah, they're going for a double cap. I believe that is that Ace running the flag, or is that actually, no, that is not Ace running the flag. I believe that was APG tossing that flag down. But look at this, Optic Gaming has 3 players, so they're all here just trying to get another flag touch. APG does get it. Let's jump into third. Is there anyone here to stop this? No, you've got Straight Sick blocking the area top mid, Ace blocking top mid, and that's going to tie the game up. We're 2-2 here now in game 4.
Optic Gaming, surprising everyone here with this game type. We've talked about how they're generally weaker on capture the flag, but being down 2-0 and then immediately capping or essentially double capping here on all teams, but Envy, Envy of all people here, Optic Gaming, trying to prove that, they deserve to belong here.
Yeah, I think after their performance last week, it definitely kind of opened their eyes a little bit, and they realized they needed to buckle down and they need to practice on their weaknesses, whether it's teamwork or whether it's just their communication, whatever it may be. But it's definitely showing in their matchup against Envy right now. Look, Optic trying to make a push out of their base, but you've got Envy just being so aggressive here, trying to get that next flag moving. And you know what? They're not running this upper lane. They're running it towards the lower lane. You've got Mikwin here. Let's jump into third person to see where these players are at. L-Town was trying to stay alive, but you've got Straight Sick here who will be taken down from the Rockets from Mikwin. Now Mikwin, I believe, is moving that flag. If we can move over to him. And now let's jump into third person. No one is here to stop this flag. So a great play from the guys over on Envy. Mikwin just clutching it, getting those Rockets. Those Rockets really were the key to the victory right there at the end of the match. So getting those Rockets, I mean, you really got to give it to Mikwin for making a great play at the end of the match.
I mean, Mikwin was doing work that whole game, obviously. Taking a look at some of these stats here. 14 kills across the board almost for Envy. L-Town, you know, pulling up the rear there, but 12 kills, you know, for Straight Sig, Ace, and Maniac. So as far as the kill differential and kill spread here, not as prominent as you might think. Kind of surprising, actually, too, that Optic Gaming was able to bring that back. You know, with the exception of that 2-minute double cap run, like this game really was not that close.
No, I mean, Optic looked like they were going to bring it back, and you know, Envy is a very good team. So, I mean, if you look at the seeds, Optic put up a great fight for where they are ranked out of all the teams right now. I mean, bringing that back, tying it up 2-0, making those phenomenal. It was pretty much a double cap in a sense. Wasn't the fastest double cap, but it was a double cap nonetheless.
And we saw some great AR shots there from Maniac picking up those kills. Mikwin, this one was surprising because I thought he was going to betray L-Town with that rocket, but in fact, he ends up staying alive there. So over the course of this whole game, you know, especially at the end when Envy was running that last flag, the initial flag runner gets taken out, but someone else is ready to pick it up instantly. And if you're not sprinting across the map on shotgun side off your spawn, you're, like we said before, you're just not going to get there in time.
And there you see it on your screen, the series layout. Team Envyus winning 3-1. Optic Gaming definitely putting up a fight on Stasis CTF and looking very dominating on Eden Slayer, especially with those snipers and just getting control of 2 snipers in game number 2. But it sounds like we do have Pistola ready for, actually, never mind, Pistola is not ready. He's still just kind of being in the moment after that win. But we will have Pistola here in just a moment for an interview.
Yeah, we'll give him a minute to relax. You know, these players are trying 110% during these games. So, of course, you know, taking a minute to settle down and, you know, recompose yourself, essentially. But regardless, 3-1 victory over Optic Gaming. I can't say I'm surprised by the outcome. You know, we expected the second best team to come out and, you know, beat the 7th place team. But, you know, the surprising part here is how well I think Optic Gaming put up a fight. You know, these games were close.
And you know what this means now? Now, Envy, since they've won this match, if CLG loses their next match, they're tied up for that first place seat. So that's kind of an interesting thing happening right now, too. If CLG doesn't win against Renegades, CLG is no longer well, technically they are the #1 seed, but they're tied for that #1 seed.
So there is, yeah, I mean, that Enigma 6 victory over CLG just threw everyone for, you know, just threw everyone off. Like, nobody was expecting that besides maybe Enigma 6. And now with that happening, it's given everybody else a chance to climb back up. And, you know, there's potential you might see someone else in the #1 spot by finals.
Definitely. Well, we do have Pistola ready now via Skype. Pistola, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you guys. Can you guys hear me?
How's it going? Oh, you also have a special guest behind you. Is that your dad?
Yeah, that's my dad. There's a Jim D sighting right there.
Papa Pistola.
Papa Ola. Yeah, I told him he was in frame, and he was like, "Where do I go?" And I'm like, "There's nowhere you can go."
That's awesome. So your dad watched that last series, I believe, and just supporting
you?
you?
Watched the last game.
Nice. That's awesome.
My room is stacked. I have like 3 other people in here right now, so it's just.
Man, it's a whole party going on over there. You got a crowd cheering you on, so that's awesome. So, I mean, matching up against Optic Gaming right now, did you think they put up quite a bit better of a fight than you expected? Because, I mean, they are the 7th seed. You guys are the 2nd seed. So, kind of what happened there and throughout that series?
Well, in general, I think any team can mostly beat any other team. Like, if they just come out hot that day, they can just, you know, you never know. So, I mean, I think Optic probably played the best Halo they played so far in Pro League today, and they're definitely getting better. So it's going to be exciting to see, you know, what they can do in the future of the Pro League. But, yeah, they came out hot today, and, you know, we had to close out some games.
You absolutely did. Now, tomorrow, you guys have a pretty big day as well. Tell me a little bit about what you guys have been doing to prepare for that.
Well, that match is so milky for us because – you know, if we win, we're expected to win because they have a sub. Not saying, like, not trying to downgrade like Ramy at all, but just the fact that they're, you know, that's not their full squad. But if we lose, it's like, wow, man, CLG is just by far the best team. So it's like, well, it's a weird situation. Like, hopefully, you know, we come out on top. But I mean, we've been practicing as much as we can, and we've been doing really, really well. We played Enigma Sits like last night, and we played really well against them. So, you know.
So when you talk about practice, L-Town had said you guys are really trying to focus on practicing like you play in the Pro League. How's that been going? Because you've had about a few weeks to practice and try and turn that around.
Well, that's been a lot better. I mean, we definitely struggle in scrims more so than anything. So, but lately we've been playing a lot better. We've just been trying harder and trying not to get as frustrated and stuff. I don't know. It's just, you know, we're just not as good in scrims sometimes.
Yeah, it's easier to drop stuff when you're in tournament play because you know how much is on the line. When you're in practice, players can get upset, and then it's like, yeah, all right, it's just
like,
practice.
I want to try this out, and then you just get completely dominated, and you're like, well, that doesn't work. Don't ever do that again.
Well, that's kind of a good thing, too, because
then
you don't do it in tournament. Balances out, yeah.
I mean, we definitely talked about that before as well. You have to practice like you play and run in all those different situations. It's such a situational and millisecond type of game. Now, in that Stasis flag game, you guys, you know, when Optic Gaming came back with essentially like a double cap on you guys to bring that one back, what was going through your guys' head and communications there?
We were like, okay, guys, yeah, I tried to push through the first cap, tried to push through Hydrosite, and they spotted me on radar. And I was like, uh-oh. And then we kind of started pushing Hydrosite a little too much. And then Austin was the last one at Hydra, so we all spawned there again. So then they just ran it through Shoddy side a second time. We even said, like, we got to push back so they don't get a second cap, but it was far too late. Realistically, that map is just controlling Shoddy side, and we just stopped. Like, what we need to do is just push back to our base and wrap back around and then go to Shoddy side. But we first pushed through Hydra side, and then we got spawns there, and then we pushed back through. So, you know, we knew it was happening, and we weren't too worried because, you know, as long as we get control of the map and get the weapons and the power up, we should be fine.
Awesome. Well, Pistola, thanks for joining us, and thanks for having Papa Ola join us as well. It's good to see him always doing great and supporting you as well. So we'll see you next week. All right. We'll see you tomorrow, probably.
See you tomorrow, man. Match of the week. So, yeah, thanks, guys.
Pistola, great guy, and it's also awesome to see just the support he gets from his family as well throughout his entire Halo career. He's been going at it for a long time, man.
And I'm pretty sure in the beginning, back in the Halo 2 days, when he would just show up for free-for-alls, pretty sure his dad drove him at times 20 hours or something like that to go actually compete in these events. So it's awesome seeing, you know, phenomenal players with the support of their family and, you know, everyone kind of on board with the whole esports vibe. So just awesome family.
Yeah, Pistol, I mean, just the amount of time this guy has been competing. I mean, it's not the same amount of time as Ogre 2, but he's just been competing for a very long time along the likes of like Victory X, and just these guys are still around and they're still kicking it. I mean, it's just insane. Keeping that drive and keeping that momentum and keeping up like those practice regimens, that's one of the hardest things to do.
Yeah, I mean, it is playing video games for a living, but it's also a competition, and you're competing against everyone else. So sometimes you have to treat it like a job, and you got to put in that extra effort. And when you want to quit, you just got to keep grinding it out. And Pistol is a prime example of, you know, exactly how well he's performed, going from global championships to, you know, maybe falling a little short, qualifying for Worlds, but then coming right back and being one of the best players in Halo 5.
All right, well, let's talk a little bit about the open circuit, which is happening as well, because you got some teams that are trying to make their way into the Pro League. If you want to sign up, just check out this link right here. You can give your shot and maybe get some friends and some buddies to throw a team together and play in these last few events here for the open circuit. And actually, talking about open circuit, Ramy is not going to be playing with his team this week. He is out at RTX playing in a free-for-all event out there, trying to make a little extra money out there in free-for-all. So French Toast Mafia, they will not have Ramy this week.
Yeah, so it'll be really interesting to see how that plays out, whether or not we'll have any new teams coming up and making a run against French Toast Mafia for, you know, that spot, or to see if they're going to be able to pull out essentially a four-peat at this point.
All right, well, we do have Counter Logic Gaming versus Renegades coming up shortly. So this is the HCS Pro League week number 5. Stick around. We'll be right back.